Hi, and welcome to Allot on Air. During the next 10 minutes, we'll be meeting with industry experts to discuss the hottest trends in telecom, cybersecurity, and network intelligence.
Hi, I'm Barry Spielman, Director of Product Marketing for Security Products at Allot. Joining us today in the Allot on Air studio is Michael Shachter, Director of Product Marketing at Allot. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Barry. Good to be here.
Great. So can you give our audience a little bit about what you're doing at Allot?
I'm the Director of Product Marketing for all the DPI-based Allot Smart Solutions and products. And for the past 6 months, I've also been covering our Allot Secure Security as a service product.
Great. So in those 6 months, what kind of trends in terms of cybersecurity threats have you seen in the market?
So it's been a pretty crazy period all around with COVID-19 and so much of life having moved online. We've seen a huge spike in cybersecurity threats. A lot of bad actors have been kind of utilizing COVID-19 and people's fears to draw people to more phishing sites. There are more DDoS attacks. Kids are online. Parents are seeing their kids online all the time. And there's a heightened awareness, and there are more threats out there. And people realize, I think, in a way that they didn't previously, how important it is to secure the online experience.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. Specifically, I would think for service providers. What do you think?
So the service provider security approach is an interesting one. Up until now, security has not really been something that service providers have successfully brought to market. Whenever they've tried to remarket point solutions, and customers just don't really take that from the CSP, or if they do take it, they don't install it, or if they install it, they don't update it, they don't keep it current. It hasn't been a successful mode for service providers.
Well, why is that the case? Why hasn't it been?
I think that by and large, people find these kinds of solutions just too difficult to manage. They're not sure which point solution they need. And if they do take one, like I said, it's complicated to install. You have to monkey with the configuration. You have to figure out how to set it up. You've got to keep up to date with patches. And service providers have told us that when they've tried this route, they're lucky to get 3%, 4% adoption rates.
So in this particular case, the opportunity is much bigger.
So the opportunity is bigger because people are aware that it's dangerous out there and they are looking for solutions. But for a solution to be successful, we believe that it needs to be essentially a zero-touch solution. And we also believe that service providers, because they own the data communications pipe, are perfectly situated to provide that kind of solution if they can put the security into the pipes. And then in that way, the end user has a secure connection, just like they get clean water from the kitchen sink. They don't need to worry about adding, antimicrobial and anti-this and filter that. The water comes clean and they drink it. And so the data should come clean and they can consume it.
All right, so maybe we could just expand a little bit on the solution, because the CSP is going to be able to turn this on automatically for all the subscribers. It's going to be able to protect them where? It's going to protect them in the home, in the network, where?
So that's a good question. We attack this first market segment by saying the mobile users are the ones who are at risk. They're moving around all the time and they're accessing the internet, from everywhere. And so we brought to market a solution that enables the service providers to put the security into the mobile network. And then wherever you are online, if you're on the mobile network, you're automatically protected.
And that's also true in the home?
So the home is a different situation because typically the home has a different connectivity. It's probably fixed access and it connects into your CPE or your home router. And then people, when they're home, they tend to go onto Wi-Fi and access the internet through the CPE router. And then they're not protected because they're not on the mobile network. And so we came out with a second product that actually has an agent on the home router and a network-based component as well. And it gives them the exact same security that they set up on Network Secure when they're at home as well. So that gives them a more comprehensive protection.
Okay. And what happens if you're not at home? What happens if you're, let's say, at your local Starbucks or I don't know where? Off the network.
Yeah, a good question, because you're not always on your home network and you're not always on your mobile network. You might be on public Wi-Fi, you might be at your friend's house, or you might be at your office, at your small, medium business office. And so we've come up with solutions for all of those components, including an endpoint solution that protects you when you're off-net on the public Wi-Fi. And what we've tried to do and what we have now brought to market is an integration between all of these different solutions. That means that you only need to configure the settings once and you're protected everywhere.
So basically, there's a unified solution for all of the Allot secure products.
They all work together. They're all transparently integrated. For example, if you've got a kid and you set up so that when they're at home and they're browsing, they can't get to dangerous sites. They can't, go into gambling or pornography. They can't be online at all after 11 o'clock at night, maybe even, during mealtime, so they're not under the table, browsing and chatting with their friends. You set that up once and they're connected and they're protected at home. If they go to their friend's home and they're on their friend's Wi-Fi, they're still protected. If they go to the coffee shop and they're off net, or if they're walking around with their mobile, the same protections are in place no matter where they're situated.
In short, 360. So it sounds like this can also be something that works for businesses, not just for consumers, wherever they are.
Yeah, so it works for businesses as well. And what's great about it is that in our deployments to date, we get to something like 30, 40, 50% adoption rate as opposed to the 2, 3, 4% that I talked about before. It's bringing in millions every month as ARPU, additional revenue streams for the CSPs. And customers love it because it is so zero touch, so frictionless. And so it becomes a great NPS booster, tremendous customer satisfaction. It's a win-win and it's a great solution.
But just to press the point again about businesses. So this could also work for for enterprises, for small businesses, just taking the same concept and using it.
So what we've seen in the market is that the SMB, the small medium business segment, doesn't typically have their own IT operations. They don't know how to implement security and firewalls and so on like a big organization might. And this actually fits that niche perfectly because just like you at home or me at home, they need that same kind of zero touch, frictionless, no fuss, no bother, but comprehensive security. So just like it would work for you at home, it will work for me at my small business office where I've got a few devices and a couple of IoT and maybe a webcam, and all of those things are protected because they're behind my business router and they get the same security level and protection that you get at your home or when you're out and about.
Oh, cool stuff. So what's the best way for our listeners to get in touch with you?
Well, I'm happy to answer emails, periodic webinars. They can join and interact with me through the chat. They can reach out through our website. Be happy to talk to anybody, and I think it's a solution whose time has come.
I agree. Michael Shachter, Director of Product Marketing at Allot. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening. You can get more information about network intelligence and security solutions for service providers and enterprises on our website at allot.com. Subscribe to this podcast to make sure you hear about new trends and technologies on the next episode of Allot on Air.